Why do narcissists cancel arrangements? Why are we notorious for cancelling arrangements? You may have been looking forward all week to going out for dinner with us. Or we sent a text message suggesting meeting up that evening for a drink, only for a message to arrive an hour beforehand explaining we cannot make it. Think yourself lucky that you even got a message. In some instances, we just not turn up. In this video, however, I'm not referring to those instances where we do not just turn up, but why is it that we make plans with you, be it a month in advance or just hours in ahead, and we do so with supposed enthusiasm and absolute guarantees of, yes, I'll be there, only to then cancel those arrangements. What drives this behaviour is a sense of entitlement to do what we want, whenever we choose, at whatever moment is appropriate. Furthermore, we have no sense of accountability to you. And in addition, there is an absence of emotional empathy. When you make plans with somebody, you will invariably stick with them. Why? You do not act out of a sense of entitlement. You feel accountability to the relationship, whether it's romantic, familial or friendship, social, work, that you discharge the obligation by turning up when you said that you would do so. And of course you're invariably looking forward to it. Most of the time it will be a pleasant experience, and even if you might regard it as a bit of a chore, you still have, because of your empathic traits of honesty and decency, the necessity of an obligation to appear because you said that you would. Furthermore, your emotional empathy guides you so that you will turn up, that you don't want, that will prevent you from disappointing that person, hurting them, upsetting them. And your self-regulating emotional empathy will say to you, well, I wouldn't like it if I made arrangements with somebody and they don't turn up, so I won't do it to them. You will turn up unless it's absolutely unavoidable. And even then, you will try and rearrange things, perhaps saying, the babysitter's not yet arrived, can we push it back by an hour? Or if your babysitter's ill, you'll try and get another one without worrying your date or host about those circumstances. If you're caught in traffic, you will try and then drive faster to get there on time. You'll send a warning text advising what has happened. If you get an offer from somebody else to do something, you won't just turn around and decide, oh, I'll go and do that and sod the person that I was going to go out with. You'll say, unfortunately, no, I've got plans already. Or, if the new offer is something particularly tempting, you'll contact the existing arrangement, person that with whom you have the arrangement and say to them, someone's just offered me a ticket to go and see Depeche Mode, and I've been wanting to see them since the last tour. Would you mind if we went out for dinner tomorrow instead? If you want to go out for dinner tonight, I still will do so, but this is a rare opportunity for me to go and see my favourite band. Would you mind changing it? And of course that person, similarly operating with emotional empathy, say, no, tomorrow's fine, let's do that then. So whilst you might alter arrangements, you will do so only in appropriate circumstances, exhibiting your emotional empathy, and most of the time you will adhere to them. For us, because you are an appliance that we control, and therefore we make the decisions, not you, and because we have no emotional empathy, no regret, no conscience, no sense of remorse, we can decide, I want to do something else instead. I'm not going to do this. And it doesn't matter how important it is to you, because we have no emotional empathy. It doesn't matter how long-standing it is, because we have no emotional empathy. And driven by our sense of entitlement, absence of emotional empathy and lack of accountability, we will readily cancel those arrangements. The central factor behind this, of course, is control. As you know, control is of huge importance to us. We once lacked control as the world turned against us, and we must never allow that to happen. By asserting control over you, we gain the validation that we need, the fuel that we require, and we ensure that we are not ambushed by a threat to our control, belittled and made to feel weak and vulnerable. By controlling our environment, we reinforce that we are the supreme master of our destiny and of the destiny of others, and it is through this control that we are able to be that, which is what we want the world to see. For us, control equates to existence, safety, security. Accordingly, we need to control the appliances, the people in our fuel matrix, and receive fuel from them, alongside the other benefits. We derive several benefits from asserting this control over you by dictating how and when we shall meet with you, and then, especially, by withdrawing the meeting. When we withdraw the meeting, we are instinctively able to determine how you react to us taking this step. Is it annoyance, irritation, upset, begging for us to actually come and see you, or rearranging immediately, or largely indifference? This signals to us the extent to which you are under control and fuel provision. We can gauge then, from your reaction, just how much control we are asserting over you, and we can also evaluate the extent of the fuel provision. So the cancelling of the arrangement actually allows our narcissism to evaluate where you are in terms of control and the provision of fuel. So the manipulation in itself provides that benefit. However, why is it that we decide to cancel the arrangement? As you'll have become aware, we operate through the continued and repeated application of contrast for the purposes of control. We build you up and knock you down, idealise and then devalue, lift you up and throw you down. Our behaviour when it comes to making arrangements to do something together is no different. We give you the elation of something to look forward to, and then we snatch it away, and assert control and gain fuel from your reaction to it. Our sense of entitlement means that we can treat you in this manner. You are not important. Our needs and our time matter. Yours do not. Accordingly, in accordance with our inflated sense of self, we will deem it our right to demand to see you with just 2 hours' notice, and then we can cancel with barely 5 minutes' warning. We, of course, don't care about how this makes you feel, but we are invested as to how this manifests because of the provision of fuel, and we don't have any concern for whether you've been inconvenienced, put to expense, made to arrange childcare, alter other arrangements, travel, and so forth. It is expected that you will do all of these things for us, because it is our right. By behaving in this manner, we are asserting control through the reinforcement of our sense of superiority. The idea of being godlike, to do as we please on a whim, and everybody else has to accommodate us and fall into place behind us. This propensity to cancel also gives you further insight into the way that we see the world. It's indicative of how we perceive time in a different manner to other people. Many narcissists are notoriously unpunctual, save, of course, where time is of crucial importance to us. This is because we don't value anybody else's time but our own. But it is also because we are focused on what we are doing at that precise moment. Because we need to assert control in the moment. We need to gain fuel in the moment. That pending plans, no matter how imminent, will be kept at bay, put to one side, ignored, and even cancelled, because we are focused on what is happening in the instant. Think about it. How many times have you had to stand waiting for your narcissist to turn up, assuming he or she has not already cancelled? How many times have you been left waiting at a bar, at a bus stop, at your house, as you wonder where on earth has the narcissist got to? The reason for this isn't because we're deliberately thinking, I know, I'll make her wait. Instead, it's because we're too focused on something else, because we're asserting control in the moment, and you are essentially forgotten about. We are focused on controlling someone else, drawing fuel from them, and therefore, your appointment with us is effectively forgotten about, making you wait until it causes a reminder. So take, for example, you have arranged to meet the narcissist for a drink at 7:30, and you are in the bar at 7:25, your emotional empathy causing you to ensure that you're there early. You order yourself a supersonic gin and tonic, and you're sat waiting. You know that your narcissist is never on time, so when it gets to 7:35 and the narcissist isn't there, you're not unduly concerned. It gets to 7:40 and you decide that you will send a friendly text. Why has the narcissist not turned up? It's not because he sat there and thought, hey, it'll be great to assert control over her by making her wait. Remember, most narcissists are unaware. Instead, it's because he's preoccupied with something else. And because the intimate partner primary source is in the devaluation period, Mr. Narcissist is in the office flirting with Annie No-Knickers from accounts. She is an intimate partner secondary source. He's chatting away with her at the desk. At that moment, the intimate partner primary source doesn't exist. He's not thinking about her. He's not sat there thinking, I shouldn't be chatting to her. I should be in the bar meeting my girlfriend. He is focused on controlling Annie No-Knickers with his supposed wit and bon mots and banter and anecdotes. Direct assertions of control through flattery, through compliments, and she's lapping it up, thinking, oh, this guy's really interesting and really into me. So he's asserting control over her because she is the appliance on his radar, and he's gaining fuel from her. The girlfriend essentially doesn't exist. But then you as the girlfriend send a text. Hi, I'm in the bar. Hurry up, I've ordered a drink for you. That then comes up on the narcissist's phone. The intimate partner primary source is on the radar. What she has written causes her to come up on the radar, but doesn't actually threaten the narcissist's control, because she's saying, hurry up, I've ordered you a drink. And so she's suggesting, I'm waiting, I've got you a drink. He doesn't feel compelled to reply to it, because his narcissism basically says, in his unconscious, you've got control over her, but keep controlling this one in front of you. Lots of lovely proximate fuel coming from her. So the narcissist puts his phone down and carries on chatting up Annie No-Knickers. 5 minutes goes by, and you, as the intimate partner primary source, sat in the bar, now, having got to 7:45, are becoming rather irritated at the fact that he's not turned up. So you send another text. Where the heck are you? I've been waiting 20 minutes for you. The phone beeps. The narcissist looks at it. The IPPS has come up on the radar again. And in that instance, the narcissist sees that the IPPS has come up on the radar. This time, the message is challenge fuel. The tone is irritating, which gives him fuel. The tone is irritation, which gives him fuel. But it's saying, where are you? I've been waiting for you. Thus suggesting the narcissist has done something wrong, and it's trying to make him accountable. That threatens his control. His narcissism then says, you need to assert control. And in that instance, the narcissism might select, we're getting lots of lovely proximate fuel from Annie No-Knickers. Intimate partner primary source, she's not proximate to us, but we need to assert control over her. Send her a message saying, sorry, going to have to take a rain check. I'll call you later. Something has cropped up at work. And thus, he sends that text. He essentially cancels the arrangement 20 minutes after, or 15 minutes after he should have been there. And then he turns, having asserted control over the intimate partner primary source, back to Annie No-Knickers, chatting her up, asserting control through flattery, compliments, drinking up her fuel. Of course, the intimate partner primary source is not impressed by this cancellation at all, and sends another text message. What are you talking about? You were meant to come out with me. I've been looking forward to this all day. Work can wait. Beep. It comes up on the radar. The narcissism might select unconsciously for the narcissist to respond with a scathing text saying, this is my job, it's important. Just go home, I'll call you later. And that put down, that ordering her to go home, is the assertion of control within the cancellation of the arrangement. Or his narcissism might go to the third assertion of control, withdrawal, and he just ignores her and carries on talking to Annie No-Knickers. So, from that worked example, you can understand the narcissist hasn't sat down and thought, I can have some japes here by cancelling the arrangement. He doesn't think that far in front. A greater or an ultra might do that A greater or an ultra might cancel the arrangement, consciously thinking, I could go, but actually this is a good way to assert control over her, and then I can gauge how she responds to that to see how much under control she is and what her fuel is like. And if I don't get much of a reaction to it, I know that I've got further work to do with regard to that appliance. But that's where you have an aware narcissist. Most narcissists are unaware, and therefore they will not think to themselves, I know, I'll purposefully cancel this arrangement so that I can mess the victim around. It doesn't work like that for lesser and mid-range narcissists. Them being unaware narcissists, what they will do is they will cancel an arrangement simply because their sense of entitlement, lack of accountability, and absence of emotional empathy means they're focused on something else, and they want to do so. So, if you get a cancellation several hours beforehand, it may well be that the narcissist has been contacted by somebody else who says, I've got tickets for going to see U2, for example. And the narcissist decides, I can assert control over this appliance by going to the concert, and therefore I will do that. And then decides, well, I'm not going to go and see my girlfriend tonight because she's in devaluation, and sends a text saying, sorry, something's come up. I have to go and see my dad, he's not very well. It's a lie. But the narcissist doesn't care about that because in the moment the narcissism causes him to believe him that that's a legitimate excuse. So the arrangement is cancelled and he goes off with his friends to watch U2. So the important distinction here is that when answering the question, why do narcissists cancel arrangements, it is to do with the pursuit of the prime aims and control. But the narcissist that does it on purpose to prompt a reaction and to test control will only be the rare, greater, or ultra. The majority of narcissists cancel arrangements because they're acting in an unaware way. Something else has caught their attention. There is something else that must be controlled. Something else is better fuel provision. And therefore, you, because we have no sense of obligation towards you, no sense of accountability, we have no emotional empathy, means we'll cancel with you and go do something else. And of course, that can happen at any point prior to it, even when we ought to be with you. We could well cancel. The propensity of cancelling is indicative of this sense of entitlement. We may have made what has seemed like cast iron plans with you for dinner this evening, and a reservation has been made along with arrangements about where to meet. You've checked twice that we're still on for this evening, and then despite this we ring and cancel. Again, where that's a lesser or mid-range narcissist, the cancellation has been driven by the fact that that narcissist has been distracted by something else, and because we're asserting control or gaining fuel from that, the narcissism says continue with that and just drop the other opportunity. Of course, we have to assert control over you by giving some explanation as to why we're cancelling, and that will vary with regard to plausibility dependent on the school of narcissist that you're dealing with. The narcissist that just decides to cancel the arrangements in effect for shits and giggles is the greater or the ultra, and that is being consciously done to control you. The greater or ultra may not have any alternative plans, but just wants to cancel to prompt a response from you in order to make you react so that the greater or the ultra can determine how under control you are and how much fuel you provide in your response. That is a conscious, calculated cancellation. Where a lesser or mid-range narcissist cancels, it is not calculated, it is not conscious, it is done because the narcissist is focused on something else. And accordingly, that is what is behind why the narcissist will cancel appropriate arrangements. It is about control and fuel. For the greater narcissist and the ultra, it is about consciously doing that to test the control and to test your fuel response. In some instances, it might also be that because the greater or the ultra is dealing with somebody else. But more often than not, the greater or the ultra will do it basically to puppet you, to prompt a response, to prod you, to see how you react to it. The lesser and mid-range narcissists don't do it just to provoke you. It's done as a response to the fact that they basically are focused on something else. Something else is on the radar, and their narcissism dictates that they should focus on that for the purpose of asserting control and fuel, but also to assert control over you. You at least get the notification of the cancellation, maybe a week before, maybe 2 hours before, or maybe when the narcissist should already be with you. And that is why the narcissist cancels arrangements.